what actually is an EHCP? That again is another piece of terminology that gets thrown around a lot. But for a parent going into this that has never experienced it before or never been in sort of the world of education, what is it? How and how do you get one put in place?
So, and what is termed an ECHP is an education, health and care plan for a child with special educational needs. So simply put, it's got a number of sections. The key ones for the purpose of education are it sets out what the child's educational needs are, like the sort of diagnosis, and then it sort of sets out what is required to meet those needs. Effectively, the sort of prescription, the sort of in those sort of terms. So what the needs are, what's required, what provision is required to meet them. And it also explains, or it also states where that provision will be met, i.e. which school, normally school, will be the place where the provision will be made. And an education, health and care plan, it's something that the local authority administers. So a decision whether or not to do an assessment to work out whether an education, health and care plan is required is a decision that the local authority makes, not the school makes. And sometimes it is the school that requests an education, health and care needs assessment, but the parents can also request it themselves. So one does not need to wait until the school requests it. Obviously, if the school is on site, that makes matters a lot easier. But unfortunately, at the moment, local authorities are often trying to discourage schools from making requests and are putting up barriers to those requests. Parents need to understand that it is possible for them to make a request directly and they can appeal if not. And the thing to understand about the thresholds for an education, health and care needs assessment is that it is relatively low. A child, it doesn't appear to the local authority that a child may have special educational needs, which may require the provision of an education, health and care plan. That is the threshold for the assessment, which is relatively low. Whether or not an assessment is required, whether or not a plan is required is a different question. Is it necessary? Is it actually necessary for there to be a plan? Yeah. But whether an assessment is required is, whether a plan may be necessary. So that's people, often you need to do the assessment, unsurprisingly, to work out exactly what the needs are and what you need to do about them, and whether or not a plan is actually necessary.